Are you stuck trying to figure out what, why, and how to review your employees' performance? I'll answer all your questions. Stay tuned. Hi entrepreneurs, I'm Vicky Brown, and you're in the right place if you want to engage your team, boost your business, and grow your leadership muscle. So last week in part 1 of this series on performance, we talked about types of review systems and feedback timing. Today, we're going to focus on goal setting and the actual review meeting. People get goals and objectives mixed up all the time, and in fact, they're mostly used interchangeably. The major similarity between goals and objectives is that both involve forward motion, but one is an end outcome, a goal, and one is a tactic to achieve the outcome, an objective. For example, if the goal is to lose 30 pounds, the outcome, the objective is to do 30 minutes of cardio 3 times per week, the tactic. Oh, there's one more possible piece of the puzzle, the milestone. These are mini accomplishments. So in this example, a milestone could be to get up at 6 a.m. to go to the gym, a mini accomplishment. Remember, when you set a goal, it really should be a SMART goal, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And keep milestones in mind. If the goal is going to take 3 months to complete, setting mini accomplishments can really help. If you want the review process to be effective and have impact, get your employee involved from the very beginning. Encourage them to take an active role in setting performance objectives, designing action plans to help them achieve their goals, identifying their professional strengths and weaknesses, and giving their input on how to improve. It also helps to involve them in the actual performance appraisal meeting by allowing them to do a self-assessment prior to the meeting. Employees are much more vested in their performance when they can play an active role in designing and guiding it. Now, once you've measured your employees' performance, you need to document your findings in a useful way that will help you prepare for appraisal reviews and avoid discrimination charges. Make sure all documentation is objective and based on performance, not personalities. Document the performance of all employees, not just the perceived troublemakers or star performers, and be sure that your documentation provides complete and accurate information that supports your conclusions about the performance. Include both favorable and unfavorable comments so that you give a realistic picture. After all, no one is perfect and no one is without some redeeming qualities. You'll also find that using the notes from the spot feedback and mid-year check-in sessions can give you valuable information when you sit down to do the final review. Now, when you sit down to prepare for the actual review meeting, make sure you've objectively reviewed the employee's performance, you've documented your evaluation in a written appraisal, you've thought carefully about new goals for your employee, and you've scheduled a time and place for the meeting, giving your employee ample notice so that they have time to prepare. Also, make sure you've blocked out quiet, uninterrupted time so you can give your full attention to the task at hand. Conducting effective reviews is difficult, partly because of the sensitive nature of being on review. It's important that you focus on the positive and make sure you always keep the conversation focused on professional behavior and performance. Don't ever get personal. Stick to objective examples, especially when pointing out an area that needs improvement. And continue to invite response and feedback throughout the meeting. Never let the discussion become one-sided. Also, use your active listening skills. Maintain eye contact. Listen with the intent of understanding and conveying empathy, not figuring out what you're going to say next. Use paraphrasing, summarizing, and asking clarifying questions. Finally, create a we mentality. It shows that you're both working together to help the employee get the best performance and have the best available career opportunities. Now, a word about raises. A lot of the time, raises are associated with performance appraisals, and employees may expect to receive a raise immediately after their review, especially if they receive a good evaluation. It's very important to make sure your employees know company policy on raises, preferably before the review meeting. Are raises strictly based on performance evaluations? Are there other components of determining raises, like company and team performance? Are raises completely separate from performance? You'll have to decide which approach works for your culture, but whatever you decide, make sure your employee is clear before you go into the performance review process. It helps avoid confusion. One additional note regarding your approach as you think about someone's performance. It's important that you separate an employee's behavior from their identity. Avoid making blanket assumptions about the person. Focus on the actual negative behavior rather than the perception of the attitude. You may want to address the fact that Mary comes to work every day in a bad mood, but instead address the actual behaviors that you and others can see. For example, Mary may refuse to answer work-related questions, or she might become argumentative and inflexible when given an assignment. Perhaps she behaves in an unwelcoming and off-putting way with team members. Your review should focus on Mary's behaviors rather than the perceived bad mood or attitude. You can measure improvement in Mary's behaviors, but since you can't see into Mary's psyche, you have absolutely no way to measure her mood or attitude. Another bonus to this approach, it lessens the likelihood that Mary will feel personally attacked, because when someone feels attacked, they're far less likely to engage in improvement efforts. Do not make it a personal issue. Keep in mind the purpose of any review is to help your valuable team member grow their skills and their contribution to the business. Identifying areas for development and setting SMART goals will go a long way in positioning them and the business for success. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe and share. And remember, your inspired leadership is the secret sauce to having a high-performance team and a wildly successful business you'll love. I'll see you next time on Leader's Journey.